Yo, welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show Powered by Primanti Bros. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have the Dougie Fresh in the house. Doug, happy NFL Sunday. Happy as tradition, Doug and DiNardo on the Postgame Show.
Here we are again. It seems like we just did this. Happy birthday to Bubba Chandler and Gregory Polanco.
Happy birthday to Bubba Chandler.
Today. There you go. So,
also apparently happy birthday to Gregory Polanco.
Yeah, according to, I think that was Greg Brown. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the only happies we have to give out, I think. So Pirates lose and not a great fashion. It started out so promising. 3-run first inning, but here we are. Pirates on the road, Pirates blunders, piratey, and here we are again. Right where we always are.
Pirates lose 4-3 to the Nationals. They lose the series to the Nationals. They drop back to 20 games under 500. This to me was just an inexcusable game. This was, we discussed how you're not going to win every game. There's times where you just, they're the better team. They won. Pirates lose today. It is what it is. Today, just inexcusable. Just bad baseball everywhere.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes you just get beat. The better team beats you. And sometimes the team is just better that day, and it happens. That's baseball. Every team wins 54, every team loses 54 type thing, and it's the other 54 that what decides your season. But the Pirates beat themselves today. And that's, again, we talked about this on Friday. The runs are too precious. Wins are too precious. The Pirates cannot afford. And under this ownership, we'll never be able to afford this, say, okay, just file that one away. They can't do that. They remember when they started 20-8, Jeff Passan was on the Tony Kornheiser's podcast, and he said the Pirates are, he goes, they're not going to last. They're not going to sustain this because they're playing every game like it's the 7th game of the World Series. They need to play every game like it's the 7th game of the World Series. They're not a team that's going to run off to 100 wins, and I don't think they ever will be under this ownership, and especially with this general manager. So they can't consistently give games away like they do, where key players are just making, just boneheaded plays, where guys who are fighting for their major league life and, can't stay on the base. It's unacceptable. Again, Donnie Kelly has been dealt a kind of a shoddy hand, but I expect there should be some discipline, and I don't have to know what it is. I don't have to see it publicly. He doesn't have to run off and yank anybody off the field or anything like that. But I hope somebody's being talked to right now. I hope a couple of guys are being talked to right now, and that there are some consequences and some expectations need to be established, and then people need to be held accountable.
I'm with you. I'm with you. One thing I think we've brought up with Don Kelly that you've seen a difference in with Derek Shelton is the team has come more prepared to play baseball. They look like players that know how to play the sport. That was something you didn't see, especially the first few series. And again, especially the Miami series on the opening day. It was just awful. Everyone didn't know how to play baseball.
Right.
How do you come out of spring training, come in here, and then just like all the routine plays, all the fundamentals just totally escape you? And that's something that has changed with Don Kelly. But it's something that just keeps it seems to be creeping back out. And again, I don't know if this is just the fatigue of the season. We've been out of it for so long. What's the point or what it is? But you got to reel them back on in track. You got to do something here. And if it is the discipline, like you said, whatever it takes, because not to beat around the bush, G1 Bay is just terrible. I mean, he's just been terrible. He's still terrible. The only thing he has is speed, and he can't successfully run bases well. I mean, he's down to an
His speed is
0.50
wasted.
batting average.
Right. Yeah.
And, I'll say he's walked a few times the past few games. Like, he's done something positive in the batter's box if he can't get a hit. But then he gets on base, and he gets thrown out today at second.
Yeah.
Oneil Cruz, offensively, he came out of the funk a little bit. He went 2 for 3, I believe. It was 3. Yeah, 2 for 3 with a walk, had a double. But what happened on the double?
Yeah.
What happened on the double, Doug?
Here's a guy that hasn't had a hit against the left-hander in 2 months. Here's a guy that's just striking out like crazy, and you're gonna pose. You're gonna watch. Like, buddy, you're not good enough. You can't get away with that. You need to be busting it out on every single play. And the entire fan base has gotten frustrated with that sort of thing from you. Like, just from a pure optics point of view, you need to make some changes. I can't imagine having the season that he's having and not looking myself in the mirror saying, man, at least I can do this stuff better. At least I can run after I make contact. The first baseman coach will tell you that you can showboat it after that. Like, but get down the line. Make sure. And God, that play in center field, you could see it coming. I'm like, oh no, he's going to do it again. I mean, and then he gets the little pouty look on his face. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. It doesn't seem like it, Oneil Cruz. Like this is just, it happens too frequently. The guy has so much talent, but if talent without effort and without focus is somewhat wasted. There are, professional sports, every professional enterprise is filled with people with talent who don't. Right. I mean, they're talented players that never live up to it are commonplace throughout sports. It's not unusual. And I mean, he's wasting this talent. And I'm getting tired of hearing about how hard he hits the ball and how hard he throws the ball and how fast he is, because, if you're standing at home plate, your speed doesn't really matter.
Right.
You can't get your glove down on the ground,
And I'll get to the demeanor part here, but to go back to the double, right? Like you mentioned, and I feel like we were on the post game. I don't remember who it was. I've been trying to think in the back of my memory who it was. I feel like it was Jack Sawinski, but I don't think it was. But I remember it was maybe 2 years ago. I don't think it was even last year. I think it was like 2 years ago, where someone did the very similar thing. And I remember going on the post game and just tearing up, because it's like, you know what? I'm all for the theatrics in baseball. I'm for the pimping home runs and doing stuff like make baseball fun. I'm for it. But you know what? You better not be batting 205, right? Your OPS better not be under 700. And like you said, you better not have had just 0 hits since the All-Star break versus a lefty and doing it in that situation. Like time and place. If you're Kyle Schwarber and you want to do it, go right ahead.
Right.
If you're Aaron Judge, you want to do it, go right ahead. Yeah. If you're Oneil Cruz, who's struggling since June 1st, one of the worst hitters in baseball, and you want to do it in that opportunity, in that moment, you better make sure that's a home run. That better be clearing 450, not a wall scraper. And it didn't.
Yeah.
It ended up being a double. Now he gets the double because this guy is a freak, right? So he's able to make up for it and still get the double. No harm, no foul per se, but that's the stuff that we're talking about. That now, Bryan Reynolds dogged out a hit to first base as well. I mean, he connected, and as soon as he made contact, he just threw his hands up. That was Bryan Reynolds' first move. When he hit the ball, he threw his hands up and shrugged his head and just walked down to first base. But Bryan Reynolds has somewhat earned that. But what I'm alluding to is a lot of people do these things. And I think that Oneil Cruz gets more hate for things that other people do that isn't needed. But it's times like this that you're never going to escape that. And when you're doing it during these moments, you're going to be looked under a microscope.
Yeah, I wholeheartely agree. He gets more criticism for this sort of thing, and because I remember games this year where Kutch has not run out to first base. And look, Henry Davis runs out to first base every time, and he's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's like effort isn't the only thing that's required, right? You need the talent and the ability. But again, it happens too much with Cruz, right? Because And with this organization in particular, where it seems like we have an owner who doesn't care and a general manager who has no sense of urgency, and we're playing out the string again. We're blue collar people here. We like toughness, we like grit, we want to see guys grind, and we're willing to forgive some stuff. But again, why should we care more than you care? Is what comes down to us. And I know it's a lost season. I know it's the end of the season. I know you're playing it out, that sort of thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing I said about Bubba when he was like, "Oh, gee, I was mad that I didn't get called up." Well, there were some reasons you didn't get called up. You weren't pitching well. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And now it's like this is not an acceptable attitude for a team that's having an awful season. And I understand they get no support from the management. I do, and I understand that must be frustrating. But there's a lot at stake for you individually, and your best effort is required. And when you keep doing this sort of thing, like I said, if it happened once in a while, but when you're doing it in the midst of you you're striking out 75% of the time, and it seems like every other ball hits you on the ground in the outfield. You're a shortstop, for crying out loud, right?
Yeah,
You
good
should be able
point.
to field a grounder. And then again, he doesn't help himself with the body, after, like, then he doesn't bust after it. Now I know Pham is going to get it. I know the guy backing up the play is going to get it before him. But instead of looking at, just hang his head and droop his shoulders, we're looking for that, gosh, I got to make up for this, that kind of effort. And I know it's unfair to judge that sort of way, but that's what it is. We're watching, and this is what we see. And we see it
Yeah.
time and time again, and it gets harder and harder to forgive.
Yeah. And like I said, I want to come back to the demeanor part. And I mean, I do believe he cares. Hear me out. Like when he looks defeated, I mean, I do think he is upset. But going back to what I was talking about after the Miami series with him, you know, it's okay to make a mistake. People make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. You're not perfect. I sure as hell am not perfect. Look at my tweets, right?
Have you
So
watched
like
my
we are
podcasts?
not,
I'm awful.
yeah, like nobody is perfect, but what's most important is how do you bounce back? How do you learn? How do you recover? And that's why I gave Cruz some credit. He looked awful, but it progressively got better. He's not a center fielder. He's not trained as a center fielder. He became a center fielder one night when Ben Cherington woke up and said, "You know what? You're going to be our center fielder. You don't even have a glove. You're right, but you're going to be one." So, like, you have to have some understanding to that. This guy's not a center fielder, so you're going to have some early mistakes, and I was okay with that. How does he benefit? How does he learn? How does he progress? And he was doing that. And now we're going full circle where it's getting bad again. And again, like I mentioned, right? How do you persevere? How do you learn? How do you come back? And he's doing the same thing over and over again. This is a problem. This is a problem, right?
Yeah.
You're not learning. You're not taking like, okay, I messed up. I better make that play again. He had the same issue a few nights ago when we were on the post game. We didn't really talk about it, but like, and again, a grounder goes right by him, and that was a crucial moment. This game might be in extras right now. Hell, the Pirates might have won, and we're giving away sandwiches, but because of
Yeah.
that play in that moment where he's already had a lapse in the game where he doesn't run out of the box on that hit, he allows this ball to get right past him. They score. They win the game.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that was the difference. It was the difference in the game. Um, again, but I'm not going to question like I said, I think when his demeanor is his frustration with himself. I
I
believe
agree.
that. I believe he gets really frustrated and thinks I need to do better, but then he doesn't. I mean, I mean, you've played sports, I've played sports. I know what runs through my head after I've made an error. When the next one's coming, like I can't make it. I'm running to the ball thinking I can't make
It's
another
one of the
error.
worst feelings in the world.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's
you let your
awful.
team down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a team game. Everybody's counting. It's a close game. You have a chance. It's just such a disappointment that it's still an issue. And I don't expect him to be perfect in center field. Center field's a difficult position, right? He's got great athleticism, but he was a shortstop from his entire life.
Mhm.
So it takes a while, and we've seen better than that. He runs better routes now. He gets the balls, and man, he can do some special stuff. And I mean, really, that's where the frustration come in. this guy should be one of the top 5 players in baseball with that talent, and we've got it right here. And for whatever reason, he can tap into it for a month or 2 months, and he can look like the best player in baseball. I remember early in the season how high his on base percentage was, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, he's figured it out. This is it. This is the breakout season. And then he just and he doesn't, like I said, with the optics, he just doesn't help himself by making it look like he's not giving his best effort as well. And right, we get frustrated. And I mean, this guy is the key, right? He's probably the single biggest way for the Pirates to leap forward is if this guy turns into a guy that gets MVP votes.
Right.
And I mean, they're not going to give up on him, right? He's going to be here next year. He's starting in center field on opening day, and I hope he's not reduced to being a platoon player because he can't hit lefty. We know, we've seen him hit lefties. I mean, it's just, it's like the difference with him and say somebody like Henry Davis or somebody like, we've never seen Henry do it outside of one game against Shohei and the Angels, right? We've never,
Right.
but we've
What a game that was. But
yeah, well,
right.
oh God, the good old days.
Good old day.
Yeah, but we've seen Oneil Cruz, and we've seen him do it for 2, 3, months at a time. We know it's there, and then to not get it, and then to see these kind of mental, lapses, it's really frustrating when we all know we cite internal improvement as our best path forward, and man, do we need some internal improvement from Oneil Cruz.
Yep. So again, like it just was not pretty. The offense came a lot. I mean, we've been talking about basically Cruz and Bade a little bit here because deservingly so, right? Deservingly so. But I mean, this game actually started out in a different way. They came out and scored, 3 runs immediately. I mean, it was a 3-0 ball game. And Mike Burrows comes out and just completely dominated the first 3 batters in the lineup. And again, Burrows actually talk about him a bit, but he completely just dominated. And you're like, okay, Pirates going to win this series. And the offense just disappeared, just completely disappeared after that. And a big part of, the veterans, the guys you're kind of relying on, like Tommy Pham had a difficult game. He was 0-4. Reynolds also 0-5. Reynolds looked terrible at the plate. And then obviously you look at the back end of this. Joey Bart, there was York, there was Bay. They all went 0-2, 0-4, 0-3. Bart did have a walk and he got hit on the hand, which I thought immediately he's probably going to get replaced by Henry Davis.
Yeah, I did too.
Kind of happen. He threw out a batter also, so it doesn't hurt him too much, it seems. And then, like I mentioned, Bay also had a walk, but then he got thrown out. He's trying to steal second, so that was eliminated. So
he stole by a mile too, right? He didn't get thrown out, right? He slid over the base, could not keep his tippy toe past second base. That's unacceptable. He's had his speed his whole life. It isn't like he woke up and got the, suddenly was gifted speed, right? Like by now he should know at what point he should slide to be able to stay on the base. And God, why is he getting at bats? I don't know. I don't know. He should not be getting playing time. He has proven that he has one elite skill and he does not know how to use it. That's it. That's all he can do. Please, let's move on.
Yeah, currently his OPS is 30 points higher than Spencer Horwitz's batting average. It's not like Spencer Horwitz is killing it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why Bay's on the team. I don't know what he did to deserve the call up when there was a need. He certainly hasn't proven anything. Again, he's batting 0.50. His OPS is 290. It's not good. He doesn't run the bases well. He doesn't field well. Although he did make a good play defensively today as well. To give him that credit per se. But I do, again, I want to go back because it was looking good. And as a matter of fact, to put this out there, it was not looking good for Ryan's FanDuel lock of the day. Ryan did have 4.5 games under for the Pirates in total runs scored. So again, 3 right off the bat. They were going to score 5 runs. They're going to score 5 runs, of course. Against this Nationals team, the way they're looking today. But that was it. Again, they mentioned then this offense just fell completely asleep, and they allowed the Nationals back in because everything I talk about how good Burrows looked the first kind of fell apart a little bit there. I mean, he does allow 3 earned runs. He goes 4 innings today, has 6 strikeouts, gives up, went 4.1 innings today, gives up 5 hits, has the 1 walk, but that leadoff walk in the second, that's what did him in. I mean, it was just 1 walk. It's not like he struggles with walks, but when you walk off the leadoff guy, it seems like it always leads to something. And he walked the leadoff guy, immediately gets a hit right after that. Now there's guys on first and second. Then as Young gets a double, drives them in. They allow them back in the game. And again, ultimately they tie it up. And, so Burrows wasn't great, but I do want to say changeup has been, and today it was nasty as hell, Doug. 10 swing and miss. 10. See, we're not all perfect. 10 swing and misses in 16 swings. I mean, 10 whiffs in 16 attempts. And you threw the ball 21 times.
Yeah, that it's a difference maker, that pitch. That's an elite major league pitch. And if he has that, everything else is good enough. And I think some of his other breaking stuff will improve. He's a rookie. Right, he's going to learn more, he's going to spend time around Paul Skeens, and Mitch Keller and some other guys that kind of know what they're doing. I
know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about Burrows and have been really since he came. After those first 2 starts, it was a little shaky. I believe Bart caught both of those, and then Henry caught him, and he went on a nice little stretch, and it's been pretty good ever since. Right, he's not perfect. He's you don't want him to be your number 1 pitcher, but man, 3, 4, 5, I'm good. And when you got Paul Skeens as your number 1, it's Burrows fits in nicely, slots in nicely. So it's something and I think they're handling him properly. I like the way what's going on with him. But yeah, we can't walk the leadoff guy. Can't do it, especially with this team, especially as bad as they are on the road, as bad as they are fundamentally, as bad as they hit. You just can't do that. And again, it's I guess an unfair burden to put on these pitchers, but it's where we are. It's who we are.
Yeah. And again, I'm not going to totally hound him on that. It happens. Ideally, you don't want the leadoff guy to get on by a walk. But again, it's not like it's been a problem by Burrows. He hasn't been walking a ton of batters. This was the only walk he had. It just always seems as if you walk the leadoff batter, unless you're the Pirates, you tend to see that team score, and they did today. The Nationals did capitalize. They got them back into the game, hung around long enough, and as we mentioned, they ended up winning the game here. But yeah, I mean, Burrows looked. I'm still very encouraged, and again, that changeup was just sick today, and it's been all year. So, like you mentioned, I mean, this is a real battle for the young pitching staff coming in the next year. Burrows is every bit part of that. It's encouraging to see what he's doing. And like you mentioned too about the innings, how they're handling. I mean, he's limited, right? He's back in the rotation. I wasn't sure if he's going to be a reliever the rest of the way, like a bulk guy, but he's back into the rotation after coming into relief that one time here. But yeah, I mean, it's very limited. They're monitoring their innings. I'm perfectly okay with that. Mitch, I had a little bit of a problem with. Burrows, I'm okay with what they're doing with him.
A little different, right? Yeah,
right.
Different situation.
A little different for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but I can't wait to find out who's the starting rotation next year, right? There are some really good options. There's going to be some great competition. It's going to be fun to see how it works out. And Burrows has definitely put his hat in the ring in a serious way.
Yeah. I'm just excited for next year to be like, let's
I guess that's what it is, too. Let's just finish these 2 weeks.
Be next year. I'm good with whatever happens, whatever the rotation, right? Whatever. Yeah. Just let us be next year, because I'm tired of this right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So Sis comes in and replaces Burrows. I mean, he was lights out today when he came in. 2 innings. 0.2 innings. And he struck out both batters.
Struck out both.
Gets out of that inning for them. And then I want to say about Justin Lawrence. Justin Lawrence makes his first appearance since being injured on April 22nd. That was a guy I was intrigued in when they picked him up from the Rockies. I mean, he has a 6 slider. It's Colorado. We know how things like breaking balls and stuff don't really play well there, the altitude and such. So how's he going to be when he comes to Pittsburgh? We saw the home and away splits. The away splits are pretty decent, when he wasn't pitching in Colorado. And
a 3.53 ERA when he's not in Colorado. Yeah.
There.
Not bad.
Right.
Not bad.
But yeah, I mean, he comes out 11.1 innings, just shut out stuff. He looked really good and he gets injured. He was basically lost for the whole season. Like you didn't really get to see what Justin Lawrence is. So like this is a guy you're not going to have a large sample. Like however, in the end of the year, it's probably not going to change anything. But it's nice to see him back. I'm sure he's has plans to be here for next year. I hope the Pirates probably have plans for him to be next year to some capacity because of that stuff that he possesses. So he made his first appearance today. It was shaky. He got two guys on, but he ultimately got out of it. So he had 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, got the strikeout, no earned runs. So he kept it going for the Pirates.
Yeah, I was pleased to see him too because I hadn't heard much about him, wondering what's going on. He looks so good, and this bullpen has lacked kind of what he has, what he does. And so, yeah, it was nice. And, you're right. It was a little shaky, but first outing in a while. So I think they said he hadn't even pitched since, it's been a week since he pitched in AAA. So
True.
yeah, he got out of it. That's the good thing in the end. And yeah, I think he could be a key part of a bullpen moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm fully intrigued by him. I'm invested in him for next year. I do hope he's retained in some capacity. The Pirates have him because again, I do like his stuff, and this team is going to need some bullpen help next year for sure. But then Matson comes in. He goes 2 innings, 0 earned. He gives up a run. Again, we talked about that. It was Oneil Cruz. I mean, he should have been out of that. Matson 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Still doing it, Doug. Like he is still doing it. We're in officially the middle part of September. He's still doing it at 2.25 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of keep waiting for the clock to strike midnight and for him to turn into a pumpkin, but no, sorry, he's still the belle of the ball, man.
I guess.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's again, you see Santana, Matson, Lawrence. It's like I don't know. There's some there's some pieces there for a bullpen next year. Baczynski,
Yeah.
Moretta coming back, fully healthy. There's the bullpen looks like it could be good, right? And bullpens they're very fickle. Guys that are flawless this year can't get anybody out the next year. So you don't want to put too much stock in any of that. But yeah, I like the way the bullpen's shaping up. I like the way the starting rotation's shaping up. Something
Right.
again. Looking forward to next year. God, already. You think I'd be beat down at least until November or so before?
Well, that's the thing. We are beat down. That's why we're focused and ready for
I
next
guess
year.
I guess that's right. Yeah, focusing on the
Right.
future.
But yeah, so again, like Matson, two strong innings, and again, they should have still won it. But yeah, I don't know. He's still doing well. I mean, Doug, I guess you can take the Matson out of Pitt, but you can also take the Pitt out of Matson because he's exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
So there's that. But end of the day, like the Pirates had what five hits. That was, I mean, they scored 3 runs on having 5 hits. So that is a miracle. I don't know how they accomplished that, but like you mentioned, they scored 3 runs and then they just fell asleep. And even when they had
they went like 6
squandered them.
innings, 6 innings without getting a hit, something like that. It was,
I think so. It was until
and I think Triolo got something in the 7th. I can't remember, but
I forget. Cruz's hit was the last hit, and then I forget who got the hit. I almost feel like it was Cruz again. Maybe not though.
Yeah.
But I guess to speak on it, yeah, like Jared Triolo, he went 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Spencer Horwitz went 1 for 3 with 2 walks. I mean, the first 2 guys in the lineup, they did their job. Jared Triolo continues to do his job. Still doing it, Doug.
Yeah. I mean, again, look, your 2 best hitters theoretically are Reynolds and Cruz, and they have not delivered this year. And we are where we are, and we don't score runs. And again, you can't expect the offense to be led by Triolo and Horwitz and no Gonzalez. They could be nice parts of it, but this offense has to be led, has to be driven by Cruz and Reynolds. That's all there is to it. And they failed miserably this year, and here we are again.
20 games under 500. They lose to the Nationals, but it's okay, Doug. Got the Cubs coming into town.
Yeah, that's always welcome to see those guys. They can't hit, they can't pitch. They're
Welcome, Ian Happ.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Here's your 4 home runs. 13 times getting on base over the next series.
And
Yep.
I always think, like, if we ever acquired him, it would just all go away. Like, he's great because he's going, but you can't say it's because he's going against Pirate pitching, because Pirate pitching is actually pretty good. But it would just be like, oh, we got to go get this guy. He's a 470 hitter at PNC Park, and then he gets here and he catches piratitis
naturally. Yep. So that's it. We're out of here. We do appreciate the three of you that didn't watch the Steelers game right now, that are here enjoying this post-game show. For everyone else that's actually listening to this afterwards, we appreciate you as well. We'll be back again tomorrow for Bucko Brew. Jim returns back to the show.
He's just gonna kind of waltz right on in, is he?
I guess so, huh? Mr. Jim Rosati. But don't know what we're gonna talk about yet. We have plenty of things to talk about, I'm sure. But we'll be back tomorrow for a Bucko Brew. So come back again tomorrow morning. We'll see you there. Get your DeFair coffee ready. So any last words, Doug?
Thank you, everybody. We have the Cubs tomorrow. The game's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back
Skeens
for the post game
on Tuesday. Now they're gonna push him back a game.
Ashcraft tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. So always looking forward to seeing him pitch too. So all right, thanks for joining us, guys.
Everyone pitching.
That's it's
where it ends.
Yeah. If only we had to could only watch the half innings, it'd be great. Right?
That would be great.
Yeah.
We should have dual post-game shows. The pitching post-game shows and the hitting post-game show. How about that? You and I could be dubbed for the pitching one.
Yeah, we could. We could do. Well, if we did the hitting ones, we'd only have to do 5 minutes. So there's that.
You know what? That's true.
Right.
Maybe we should do the hitting one.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll be here. It'll probably be us tomorrow. So
probably. All right. We love you guys. Thanks, the video. Go ahead and subscribe, join, do all the fun stuff. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.